Good morning, everybody. Will Travel here. We are on our way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and slowly snaking our way back to Virginia. But first, we were along the road here in Antonito.
Antonio.
Antonito, Colorado. And we just saw a sign that said, Old Movie Set House, and it had a picture of Indiana Jones and his dad, played by Sean Connery. And that house, from the beginning of The Last Crusade, is right here, so we're gonna go take a look. Here it is. And the mailbox even says Jones. This is so funny. I just love running into random roadside attractions like these, and Last Crusade is actually one of my favorite movies, so this is super cool. This is the house from the beginning of the movie when Indiana Jones is a kid and he's a Boy Scout in Utah, so this is really cool. So we saw in the door of the house that if you go down the road a little bit, you run into the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad, and this is a train that's a narrow gauge railroad. And apparently this is the train that they used in the scene in the beginning of The Last Crusade where they're fighting on the train, and also has been used in 20 other movies, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if the gift shop is open, but we're hoping it is. We're walking towards that right now. But you can see the train here, and then there's a steam engine over there, and there's a bunch of other stuff by the entrance. They have quite a few cars here. So apparently you can actually ride this train in the summer, I guess. It's not open right now. It said it was open due to, still open even though COVID is happening, but doesn't appear to be running right now, but it is a cool train. So unfortunately everything here seems to be closed. Sad. Wanted to go into the gift shop, but we'll keep driving now. But definitely a cool stop. Glad we got to see it. Alright, so we've arrived in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is our first stop of the day. We're headed to Albuquerque tonight, like I said earlier, but we're gonna walk around, I think see some churches, and walk around downtown, see what else there is to see. So our first stop here is San Miguel Church, and this is actually the oldest church structure in the United States. As you can see behind me, it's got the original adobe structure, that style of construction. Very cool. And then our next stop is the Laredo Chapel, which is this right behind me, which is another old church. Alright, so now we're here in the Santa Fe Plaza, and there's actually quite a few people out. Lots of people eating outside here. Everyone's wearing masks, which is a good thing, but this is definitely a cute little town. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, given that it's a state capital, but it's got a lot of cool gift stores and things like that, five and dime shops. So we're just window shopping. I think we're gonna check out the Governor's Palace right now. So the palace is this building right here, which doesn't look like much of a palace. Alright, we're here at our campground in Albuquerque, gonna get some sleep. Tomorrow we're doing our longest driving day yet. We're driving all the way to Oklahoma City, so it's gonna be a long day. We gotta get some rest. See you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. We have left Albuquerque, New Mexico, and are now on the very eastern side of New Mexico, right on the border with Texas. We are on our way to Amarillo. We're gonna stop there and we're gonna go to Cadillac Ranch, which is this cool art installation, and then we're gonna continue on to Oklahoma City. Come along with us. So we are now here back in Texas, and we have arrived at Cadillac Ranch, which is just west of Amarillo. We were originally going to spend the night here, but we're just going to come see these interesting cars that are in the ground here that you can spray paint. We didn't get any spray paint, but it's still really interesting. So they're just right up ahead. This is really funny, but these cars are very colorful. There's lots of spray paint left around, and you can actually just take it to this stuff and ooh, well, it's kind of windy. But yeah, you can write whatever. It's kind of funny. Nice. It's just a lot of fun how interactive this is, and that there's just cans of spray paint lying all over the place that you can pick up and cover the cars in. But I actually thought there'd be more cars than this from the pictures, but it's still pretty cool, and you can definitely get some cool pictures in them, and some of them are hollowed out like this one. But this is a really dope spot. I mean, it's also just nothing for miles, and it's cool that we're here when it's snowing. I guess I can write my college, Syracuse, but this Cuse. I have orange. This is not great. It's kind of windy. There it is. Woo! Go orange! So we're here in Oklahoma City, but we're heading out this morning. We got in really late last night. It was a significant drive from Albuquerque all the way to Oklahoma City, one of the longer ones we've done in a while, not since the beginning legs of the trip when we crossed Texas and all that. So today we're gonna go to Arkansas. We're gonna go to the Ozark National Forest, do one short hike there, and then tonight we'll be spending the night in Little Rock. Come along with us. Alright, so we made it to the Ozark National Forest. We're at the Whitaker Point Trail, which actually took a long time to get to. It was far off the highway, and there was this really rugged dirt road, but luckily the Revel handled it, and we made it this far. But it is a little bit later than we would have hoped, so we might not be able to do the whole trail. But we're moving pretty fast right now, so hopefully we can get there to the point. So we got out here, and we went like maybe, I don't know, 300 yards, and then the trail kind of sort of just disappeared.
About a third of a mile.
Yeah, about a third of a mile. So now we're just like kind of in the snow, and we don't really know where the trail is. We know the way out. We know, like, so if you see this like slope behind me, the car's back that way. So we're not lost, but
we don't know where to go forward.
Or yeah, and it's just like if we keep going, we might actually get lost, and it's gonna be dark soon.
So that's not ideal.
So unfortunately, I think we're probably gonna head back because it just doesn't look like there's a clear trail here.
Can you turn the camera around so that they can see the trail? Or
oh yeah,
the lack thereof.
Yeah, there's nothing. Oh well. Yeah.
Anything other than like, I don't know, some dude tracking a deer.
Yeah, we're just like trying to follow footprints right now, which aren't super clear in this snow since it's kind of iced over. I feel like we're like looking for some fugitive, but these might also just be tracks from hunters and not the trail. So
I'm not sure if that's legal or not.
That might not be legal. You're right.
But
there's this stream here that's sort of running. But yeah, we're definitely lost. We should probably just head back. Stream's pretty though. It's nice to see snow. I will say this snow is very, very different than the powder we saw in Utah. This is that East Coast snow, that icky, icy stuff. I miss Utah. We made it back. Yeah, that trail is just really poorly mapped. It just sucks because this is like 3 hours out of the way and we didn't really see much. But there are 2 other cars here, so I guess there's people hiking. It's just, I don't know. Couldn't figure it out. And as you can see, the sun is starting to set, so unfortunate. Oh well. Haven't had too many of these this trip, so that's good. But now we're gonna head into Little Rock and find our campground. So that'll be about 2.5 hours. But yeah, all right. So I spoke too soon. We actually took the wrong trail, and what we just did wasn't a trail at all. It doesn't look like. So we just goofed up. It's just very poorly marked here. But oh well. Okay, so we decided in a last minute decision to go up the trail a little bit, and we've made it to these cliffs, sort of. There's a little waterfall here that is kind of hard to see, and I don't want to lean over the edge too far. As you can see, it's straight down like 15 feet. But yeah, it's pretty. There's good mountain views. Cool. So we've arrived at our KOA in Little Rock. We're spending just the one night here, and then tomorrow we actually have decided to go all the way to Nashville, Tennessee, which is about 5 hours away. We're going to stop in Memphis in the middle of the day and see a couple things there. So we got to get some rest. A lot more driving tomorrow. This is a long trip all the way back from Albuquerque, but we'll be in Virginia soon. We'll be back home soon, and there's some exciting things to see on the way before we get there. So let's keep going. See you in the morning. All right, we have made it to Memphis. You can see the city skyline behind me. Here's the bridge we just crossed over to Arkansas. And it's still a little chilly here, but not so bad. Not as bad as it was, you know, a couple weeks ago in Utah and Colorado. But feel like we're really back on the East Coast now. We're gonna walk around here at Mud Island Park, which is a park in the middle of the Mississippi River. Mississippi River is right there. And then we'll see what we can see. And then I think we're gonna head into town and check out some other stuff, and then we'll continue on to Nashville. So we've walked to the Mississippi River Museum, which is closed due to COVID, but they've got this cool replica of the Mississippi River here that's not full of water right now, but it's actually really long. It goes way back there, so that's kind of neat. And this part right here is Memphis. They've got this part a lot more developed. They have some smaller towns along the river here, but this one's really big, and you can see the island right there where we are. And now in the summer they actually have a monorail that goes from the city to the island, but unfortunately that's closed right now. Further down here's Baton Rouge, where we were, what, like 5 weeks ago now for the LSU-Alabama game. Congrats to the national champions. And then of course New Orleans, right here down at the end, with the actual city of Memphis in the background. You know, it's funny, once again we're in this situation where it seems like we're literally the only people here. Like, this is a huge park, and there were only like 2 other cars in the parking lot, and just nobody seems to be out. It's not that cold either, so it would be a nice day for people to get out, but I guess it's also in the middle of the week, and maybe kids are in school, I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty park, and this Mississippi River Delta thing is really cool. I suppose in the summertime this whole pool here fills up to be like the Gulf of Mexico as the Mississippi River model ends here. Here's the monorail I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately it's closed. It might only be seasonal, I don't know, or maybe it's just because of COVID, but it doesn't look like it's been running anytime soon. Alright, so you may have seen pictures of this, but we're now at this massive pyramid that's a Bass Pro Shop. And we're gonna go inside and walk around, but yeah, I'm really excited for this. I've seen pictures of this all my life and never been inside. Not a big Bass Pro Shop fan necessarily, but it's cool nonetheless. So let's go check it out. Okay, we're inside the pyramid, as you can see. Kind of similar to the Luxor in Vegas, but it's actually a hotel as well. So around on the outside, there's all these hotel rooms. This is really funny. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the Peabody Hotel, which is a funny hotel that has a duck palace on the roof. It does this thing where every day the ducks go down to the fountain in the lobby. We're not gonna be able to see that, but they do have a duck palace on the roof where the ducks live, so we're gonna go check that out. So those were the ducks. They actually weren't up on the roof today, and we're unable to go there because you have to be a hotel guest. But the ducks were in the lobby in the fountain, so we got to see them, which was really cool. It's such a funny idea, but there's a whole legend about it that you can read online if you Google the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. And now we're in a store that has a bunch of Elvis outfits.
Preparing to return to their penthouse for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, the march of the world-famous Peabody Ducks.
So we actually did get to see the marching of the ducks, which was really awesome. It's such a unique little quirk in this hotel, but that was cool. And now we're gonna head on to Nashville. Good morning, everybody. We made it to Nashville last night late. Got in later than we ever got into a campground. We got in after 11, so that was a little unfortunate. But today, we're here. We're gonna explore the city for a few hours and then head on back towards Virginia. But first, we're here at Centennial Park. And this is a life-size replica of the Parthenon in Greece. So that is very interesting. So I believe this was put here as part of a centennial celebration, but it was actually supposed to be taken down and the city decided to save it. And now we've got this cool monument here, replica. Very strange that this would be in Nashville, Tennessee, but it's here. Fun bench here too. Looks like a dragon. So yeah, the Parthenon was built in 1897 for the Tennessee Centennial Celebration, and it was supposed to be temporary. They were supposed to take it down right away, but here we are 124 years later and it's still here. so now we've driven downtown to Broadway, which is the famous country music street with all the restaurants and live music. So we're gonna walk around here for a little while, see what we can see. Well, we got into Bristol late last night again, and today we are finishing out our trip and we are heading back to Charlottesville. Come along with us. We're about to cross into Virginia, but here's the Speedway behind me. Pretty big stadium, so we're on our way though.